Hello, and welcome to what I assume is your first flipped back to school night ever. I'm going to go through what I normally would do at school about how the classes work that I teach, and then in class, answer your questions so we can get into more depth. First of all, there are three classes. The first two, Period 2 and Period 3, are taught jointly by myself, Ken Halla, and by J.J. Day, which is going to be wonderful having two teachers to go around and help the students on a daily basis. Give them more feedback and whatnot, as you're going to hear more in depth in a second. Period 5 is AP Government, and Period 6 is a combination of AP Government and AP Comparative. 3 years ago, I started something called Remind 101, and I realized at that point that the kids who don't do homework don't do it because they don't want to do it, but rather forget it. And this has helped immensely. Almost all my students sign up every year. If you want to know when assignments are due, please stop the video right now, look at the directions for your students or your child's period, and sign up, and you would get it. It'd be 5 o'clock for the freshmen and 6 o'clock for the seniors, unless it's on the weekend, then it's early afternoon. So, these are the ebooks. We're now into our third year of electronic books, World History, Government, and Comparative. The Government and Comparative will be done used for both those books will be used for the comparative kids. I would then ask you one small favor, and that is to purchase for your child, whether they're in the standalone government or the other one, an AP US Government Study Guide by Barron's, specifically Barron's. They are the best in my view. It gives succinct chapter summaries, and more importantly, it gives multiple choice questions that we're going to use. It's to some degree, it's a knowledge game, and to some degree, we're playing a game of how do you beat the test, if you will. And this helps us do that. It costs $2 or $3. I prefer a used book. You don't need the newest one. And another $2 for postage. The AP exam is broken up into two parts, multiple choice, 60 questions on the government one, and then free response on the for the second half, and then for the comparative one, there's a short answer, and then there's a more general free response, and then there's a country-specific free response, and then the other half is multiple choice. Fortunately, I've been an AP grader for 14 years now, and so I can play that game as well and teach your kids how to write exactly what they need to get the points. Here's what we're doing in world history, J.J. Day and myself, starting with prehistory and going through the Renaissance, the longest time span your kids will ever take. The AP Government outline is here, and again, stop the video at any time if you want to spend more time with it. The only difference between the government and the kids who are doing the comparative is that the policy unit will be yanked out and will be weaved into the second and third unit. We have to come up with some time saving. They're still going to do great on the AP exam. The kids who are doing AP comparative are then going to be doing those 6 countries plus the European Union. All students after the AP exams in government are going to do state and local government as well. They're at the bottom. So how does the class work? I like to think the most important thing is the information, but I'm a parent of 3 Fairfax County kids, and I too care about the grades. So tests are generally multiple choice tests, and we are gearing them again for the SOL test in May, third week of May for the World History 1, or the AP exams, plural, depending on which class they're taking in the second week of May. So multiple choice is four times a classwork assignment. Essays are 2 times, and they're all out of 100%. So there's no questioning if your son or daughter has a lower grade or higher grade what it is. As a word of help, hopefully, I'm going to be sending starting in about a week, and Mr. Day as well, grades home every Thursday or Friday, the last day of the class for the week for world history. I won't do it every week in government for the specific reason that the AP government exams are correlated to the AP exam, and that means if you're in the 60s, you're going to get a 3, which is passing, 70s a 4, and 80s or higher a 5. That doesn't mean no one can get a good grade in the class. There'll be enough kids with A's, for example, but the other classwork is going to bring up the grade. And so what happens after a test typically is the grades go down, and I don't want to scare anyone in thinking their child isn't doing well, so that's why I don't send those grades home every week. But of course you can ask for grades at any time. We're doing larger chunks this year since we have a year-long test we're going for, meaning 2 or 3 chapters in a test. And the last thing there is the across the board at Hayfield, 80% of the grade will be awarded if it's late, as long as it's due by the test date. To me, it's very important to get all work in to learn the knowledge, and thankfully we don't have a big knock off the grade. And obviously, if there are extenuating circumstances, by all means, contact me. The class is going to use a bunch of different techniques. One is what we're doing now, flipping the classroom, where the kids at home will watch, like you now, a video.
Welcome to your first flip video.
It's one we showed a couple weeks ago for AP Government. And if you think back to your learning, a lot of it was done kind of a passive lecture in class, and then you went home with problems and you started scratching your head and thinking, God, I really need a teacher. So flipping is nothing other than having the video at home and doing the interactive in class. And the advantage of that is in the world history class, Mr. Day and I can go around and really work with the kids and get to know them a lot better, or just myself and the government classes. Also, the advantage of that is that we learn best when we're doing things. Think about your own work. You didn't memorize it for the most part. You did it by repetition, and that's what I believe in doing. The kids will go over the material 6 or 7 times before they get in the SOL or the AP exam. The other thing is, I've always believed in trying to teach students in the method they learn best, and the method that's going to help them, frankly, for the rest of their lives. So we do everything electronically. In our case, we use Google Drive. I'm more than happy to show you if you need it. I have some tutorials I can even give you guys. But this way, kids can get it on their phone, on their computer, on their tablets. And if there's access problems at home, I will work with those students in those for as much or as little as I need to. As we started this video, you will note that we have, again, how to get us. Please don't hesitate to call me at home or email us, and we look forward to a great year. The last thing is there's in the email that you received with this, there's a form that you can put a question or plural questions. It's going to be anonymous, and I will start the back to school night when I get to meet you all with the questions, and then we'll go to live questions if you have more. I look forward to meeting you soon.